Hey John, can I borrow $1 trillion?
Do I look Chinese?
Come on, it's just $1 trillion.
What did you do with the last trillion I loaned you?
I spent it, on banks and car companies and stuff.
Do you have any idea how much $1 trillion is?
Yes, I do. But I don't think most Americans do. And I know the federal government doesn't have a clue how much $1 trillion is. You know how much $1 trillion is? $1 trillion, $1 bills laid end to end would stretch to the sun. That's 93 million miles. $1 trillion today would buy you Coca-Cola, Apple, IBM, Bank of America, Ford, General Motors, Toyota, Motorola, AT&T, and ExxonMobil, and still have a few billion left over. That's a lot of money. $1 trillion is a pile of cash. With $1 trillion, you could buy every professional sports team on the planet. That's insane. That's $1 trillion. The Ford Fusion is one of the top-selling cars in America. It sells for an average of $24,000. With $1 trillion, you could buy 41,666,666 of them, which is pretty exciting. It'd be a lot of fun, too. We'd line them up end to end, and they would stretch 3.6 times around the Earth. There's only one problem. If Ford upped production to 200,000 per year, it would take them 208 years to deliver. That's how much $1 trillion is. We're talking about $1 trillion, 12 zeros. $1 trillion with a T, not with a B, not with an M. It's $1 trillion. With $1 trillion in America, where we consume more bacon than any other country on earth, we could buy a 500-year supply of bacon. I mean, that'd be awesome. I don't know the point of it, but we could do it with $1 trillion. If time is money, if you make $1 for every second, in 12 days you'll be a millionaire. In 32 years you'll be a billionaire with a B, but to become a trillionaire with a T, it'll take 31,000 years. That's how big $1 trillion is. And here's the problem we face. Congress has accumulated $13 trillion in debt. 13 trillion. Last year we took in 2.1 trillion and we spent 3.5 trillion. That's 1.4 trillion more than we had that we actually brought in. That's 35% over budget. If I did that, I'd be out of business and no one would care. And that kind of pisses me off because they're out spending money like mad and they don't seem to care. The 2.1 trillion is already $6,300 for every man, woman, and child who lives in this country now. That's a tremendous amount of money. And don't forget, that doesn't include county, city, state. That's just federal tax. When you lump it all together, we're paying about 51 cents of every dollar we bring in back to governments. And what are they doing with it? I don't know. But we owe enormous sums of money to a lot of countries like China, Russia, and Saudi Arabia. And I have to tell you, it concerns me because they don't have our best interest at heart. And by the way, if you don't understand the impact, that's $11,000 per second in interest that we're paying. $11,000 per second. If there's anybody in America that makes $11,000 per second, I want to meet you because that's impressive. How big is $13 trillion? I'll tell you how big $13 trillion is. Laid end to end and side to side, it would pave every interstate, highway, and country road in America twice. Not once, but twice. That's a lot of bills. That's trillions. Look, the best way out of debt is to stop the overspending. It's to stop the borrowing. We need to ask ourselves, should we tighten our belt as a country now and be a little uncomfortable for a few years? Or do we continue down the path of destruction and end up broken, miserable for many, many years? Fixing the problem has nothing to do with the Democrat and Republican civil war that is going on in Washington today. This is about saving America. Write your congressman, write your senator, write the president. Get mad as hell. Too many citizens have worked too hard to just sit back and watch the greatest country in the world collapse under bad management. I'm not going to be one of those people. I'm going to speak out, and I want you to do the same.
Gotta wake up, America.
Right on.